first and foremost thing is that prepare a good introduction for yourself. Tell them about your motivations, your inspirations, how can you fit in their job profile, why do you want to pursue this field.
Being confident is very important in an interview, and one should have the self-belief that he or she can pull this off.
For the interview, you need to understand what exactly constitutes an interview. So it's advisable that you prepare for each and every part separately and beforehand, rather than improvising on the last day. So first and foremost is that in exam, if you do a question wrong, then that's it, you'll be rejected most probably. But in the interview, if you go on the wrong track but your approach is correct, then it is possible that the interviewer is impressed by how you handle unexpected situations.
One should be really very confident regarding it. Your attitude sells over there. What matters is how you sell yourself to the other person.
Mostly in interviews or in the exams that the online exams, the questions are of similar kind. So you don't have to look for, you don't have to cover everything. You have to cover the specific parts, and your seniors can tell that very well.
For knowledge and technical skills, I would say that you should start as early as possible. Like you should start from your second year or your third year.
Second thing is learn about that company well in advance, what that company is doing, what current technologies they are pursuing on, and most important thing, always speak the truth to the interviewer, because he will catch you. He will definitely catch you if you speak even a single bit of lie.
The core engineering subjects need studying, and do as much as projects possible, because people like most of the industries come here and not the research institutes. So industries look at problems and projects which are actually useful to the industrial development, and if you showcase those kind of projects in your CV, it's definitely going to help.
तो कोर में ऐसा है कि यार CPI थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा चाहिए होता है, like 9 अराउंड तक भी चाहिए होता है स्पेसिफिक ब्रांचेस में, और वही जैसे नॉन कोर में है, तो नॉन कोर में अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, कोडिंग है, एनालिटिक्स है, तो इनके लिए प्रिपरेशन कोई डिफरेंट होती है. जैसे CPI मतलब 7.5 यदि है आपका, तो काफी सही है, मतलब सारी कंपनीज खुल जाएंगी आपके लिए.
If you are going for a non-core job, then you have to be a leader without a title. Act as if you are the person who is making the whole thing happen. And when you present this sort of thing to that non-core interview, so this is a kind of perfect profile for them.
It's not core and non-core, it's just like you have to apply for placement in the genre which you actually like.
I personally feel that unless you are extremely motivated that you are going to pursue a core or a non-core profile, you should try to apply for both. Play safe, because the companies which come in the starting are all good companies, irrespective of whether it being a core or a non-core profile. Because in our placement procedure there are certain uncertainties which does not guarantee that if a student is pursuing for a core job, it is not guaranteed that he is going to get a placement in a core job.
जितने भी एग्जाम्स होंगे प्लेसमेंट एग्जाम्स, उसमें एक काफी इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन रहता है, वो है क्वांट का रहता है. तो क्वांट के लिए एक मतलब काफी जरूरी ये चीज रहता है कि तुम लोग प्रैक्टिस करो. कैट का एक बुक उठा लो एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व एज मेनी क्वेश्चंस एज यू कैन. इससे तुम्हारी क्वांट की प्रैक्टिस होती रहेगी. इसके अलावा ऑनलाइन भी बहुत सारे हैं, परीक्षा है, एंड देन क्रैक्यू है, बुलसाई, बहुत सारे हैं.
As soon as I entered the interview room, the interviewer he just grabbed my blazer button and he just unbuttoned it, and I wasn't aware of what he was actually trying to tell to me through that. So I sat down with one button unbuttoned, and then I was sitting. So he just like pointed out to me that you should open the other button. So I just like, okay, so fine. So it was a nervy start, and then subsequently he saw my tie, and he asked me that can you please knot a tie for me. So I was like, okay, fine. I like knot a tie for him, and then he again told me, no, this is not the one I'm like, so can you please redo it. So I said fine, okay. Then I just redo it, and then eventually what he does, he in front of me, he again opens the knot, and then again he ties it himself, and then wore it. So I was like, oh my god, what did I do wrong in it? So these are some of the experiences which you will encounter, like this was one of them, to make you nervous, and they are going to test you on various aspects of your personality. So You just need to be very calm.
I'm into photography and filmmaking stuff. So I started talking about that in my HR interview for the GUSD profile. And like the interviewer was asking me questions around photography and filmmaking, like who's your favorite director, what do you like about him, what do you dislike about him, what we had a lot of discussions on that. And at the end of I was not very confident at that time, so I was speaking anything and everything that was coming to my mind. So turns out by the end of the interview, he tells me that he is also a photographer and he is into all filmmaking and stuff.
On my first day, I gave 4 interviews. There's a policy that we can only sit for 4 interviews at a time. So on day 0, slot 0, I gave the interview for Coordination, Microsoft, Mintical and Revigo. So I gave my Microsoft Coordination interview. I got rejected in round 2. In Microsoft, I did 2 rounds. Then I went for Mintical. And after that, everything was done and I was almost sure that I have scored a job at Microsoft. I was forced to go to Revigo. So that was the thing. I was planning to skip that, but my TPR forced me to go there. And after that, it was about 6:30 or 7 in the morning. And at second round, he left me for a moment in the room and I slept on the desk. So he had to wake me up and then he took my interview. And the funny part is I got selected in Revigo and that was the final offer that I chose.
All of them were on the different floors. Like Geo was on the top floor and the Veritas in which I got placed was on the first floor. So I was running from here to there. The point you asked motivated. So when I reached to the Veritas, where Veritas interview, I was in quite hurried. So I asked the interviewer to relax for some time and see aloud. And then they encouraged to relax and then proceed for the interview.
In first year, I encountered all 3 of them. First was coding is the holy grail for getting a job. Second, CPI doesn't matter. लोगों की job लग जाती है छग्गी पे भी. That's the phrase that we were told when being asked to join a club. But what I've observed is that CPI will not be explicit in your selection, but it will creep in some way or another.
CPI is the first base on which they filter out the resumes of candidates. So CPI is the first thing that they look upon.
What I feel is CPI is very important. I mean, no matter what anyone says, I think it puts a very good impression on the interviewer at first.
I talked to some of my friends who have been back from that interview and they told me that they had a resume like this and they folded the PR section from where the PRs were starting, and then finally there was only this much of the page that was of some value, and they said, okay, now tell me, what have you done in this? So they said, forget about PRs. So what you can do is, whatever you do, whatever position of responsibility you are doing, you should go with a vision for that thing.
It totally depends upon the profile you are applying for. Like if you are applying for a management profile, a POR will definitely matter. But these POR will only matter if you are firstly shortlisted in that company. Having a POR and you are not shortlisted in that company doesn't mean that POR is going to affect anything. So first and foremost, you should always try to prepare for the test of that company which you are targeting, and then try to build your profile accordingly.
Although जैसे मैं एनालिटिक्स में प्लेस हुआ हूँ तो मेरा स्टार्टिंग से ये था कि मैं कोडिंग नहीं करना चाहता था, तो इसीलिए मैं एनालिटिक्स काफी अच्छे से एक्सप्लोर किया, काफी अच्छे से प्रोजेक्ट्स किए, इंटर्न करी. तो ये है कि ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि कोडिंग करना मतलब कोडिंग से ही जॉब लगेगी, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है.
Knowledge in coding is required for a coding job, and a good CPI will help you in a good core job. But when a coding aspirant starts thinking about a good CPI, that's when CPI becomes a taboo. Same is the case with other things like PORs and coding. So I would like to, the best example I can give is of myself. I myself am the Joint General Secretary of Science and Technology Council, but it has not helped me in the interview, in clearing the interview. But at the same time, neither had the backlog I had in my first semester itself stopped me from getting the job.
The most important thing is that
you need to improve yourself each day. It doesn't matter how much the other people are doing or how intensely they are preparing. If you know that you are improving yourself every day, every time you are solving new problems, then the peer pressure is nothing. It won't be doing anything to you.
There were many people who had been coding far before we even thought about doing this. So the first and foremost thing is to start taking internships very seriously, and that will automatically reduce the pressure by the time placements come. And second thing is कि once you start giving tests of placement, it's very important that if you're not able to do any question or if you get stuck somewhere, you discuss it immediately after the exam with someone who has solved it completely.
They may not be your friends, but you need to talk to everyone regarding your any doubt. If you have a doubt regarding group discussion in PI, you need to ask everyone. That will solve all your answers, answer your questions, and that will relieve you of your pressure.
So I think the key is you should not get disheartened, and you just should keep going. You should have faith that you will definitely get placed.
There is nothing to feel pressured about in placement season. Our TPO is so good that it will guarantee your placement if you are even putting a slightest bit of effort in it.
मतलब ऐसा होता है कि अगर किसी का अगर पहला इंटरव्यू है तो फटेगी, बहुत फटेगी.
It is something worth fighting for because I believe there, like my seniors told me, and I also want to portray this to my juniors. There will be one company which will come for you, and you just have to wait for it. The only advice: be confident, be happy, and don't get stressed and depressed. Because the moment you get depressed, that is the moment you have accepted the defeat.
मजे करो भाई यार. 4 साल मिले भाई, 4 साल मिले, कसम से ऐसा लगता है कि एक और साल मिलता तो और ज्यादा मजे करते.
The only thing like you take out from, like you should be taking with you from college should not be a job. Like that should not be your only achievement. Like you have an achievement of getting into an IIT, and then the next achievement you have is getting a job from an IIT. That's not an achievement even. Like it's a milestone for sure. But you should, while you are here in college, you should try exploring everything that comes your way.
See, an opportunity missed is an opportunity lost. So don't waste your time thinking about what could have been.
I would like to say that you should enjoy the life at the best. These are the best 4 years of your college, and also you should not take the things very lightly.
In the first year, you get drawn by all these cultural activities, the technical stuff. So the most important advice is to explore each and everything that's offered to you. Don't reject it on the basis of the opinion of someone else.
One should try to explore and find one's interest and try to avoid the herd mentality.
The freedom which we get here, like in the campus, we have very little amount of restrictions. Like we want to chill out, we want to go out at a place. It's very easy to do that. We can stay awake at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. We don't even sleep, and we work together as a group.
The hostel life, eventually, which comprises of a lot of fun and mischief.
बनारस है, बनारस की गलियाँ हैं, और रात के 2 बजे लंका की चाय है, मिस हो.
My friends, that's for sure. And I did my placement preparation with a friend of mine, Sanskriti. She got placed in Hotspot, and we spent almost like 12 hours in library during the placement semester. So that was an experience that was very close to my heart. My friends used to tease me that library खुलवाते और फिर library बंद करवा के आते.
This campus, teachers, our departments, and friends, hostel life, each and everything of this college is so wonderful that I'm really going to miss everything.
I have visited Assi Ghat at 4 in the morning, at 2 in the noon, and at 11 in the night. And if I recall my 4 years, I have visited Ghat during all the times of the day. So that is the thing I'm gonna miss. I might get to do these things in the future, but the first times are always memorable.